should be leery of people, including yourself, who focus on the past. Now, it is very hard to build a future with somebody who focuses on the past. Hey guys, so welcome back to my channel, Journey with JoJo, Girl in the Word, Beauty for the Soul. So today I'm here to beautify your souls by the grace of God. Feel a little up close and personal. Wait, let me see. Let me back it up. Alright, it's okay. So today, what I actually want to talk about is something that is meant to cause us to inflect and reflect on ourselves, our behaviors, our patterns, and not so much to project this on others. Let me explain. So a lot of times, for instance, when we go to church, when we read a book, we are reading and we're like, oh, well, this is for somebody. And it's like, okay, how are you applying it to your life to change? So a lot of times we do that. Even I do that sometimes. I find something great. I'm like, oh yeah, this is meant for this person. And it's like, okay, well, let me just take it in first before trying to just share out something so I can learn and grow in that area. Even if I feel like I don't struggle in it, it's still a learning opportunity. So this message, at first I wanted to name it the types of people you should be leery of, and then I realized that, you know what, if I say it like that, then a lot of people start having, you know, a list of names in their heads and not really get a good look at themselves. So I just want to say this, that okay, as I speak, if it's something that resonates with you, great. Reflect on it and try to work on yourself. And if it is something that resonates with somebody that you know, if it's something that you know fully well is meant for someone else, also just try to share this video as well. Let us spread the love. But either way, let us learn and let us get into it. Okay, so 1. Now, I'll just say it like this: the type of behavior or mindsets you should be leery of. Number 1, you should be leery of people, including yourself, who focus on the past. Now, it is very hard to build a future with somebody who focuses on the past, be it a friendship or relationship. Let me just give this disclaimer, okay? First of all, it is completely fine to, you know, just kick back and think about the past, maybe to see how far you've come, to see what God delivered you from, or to just, you know, laugh at the good old days. But there are people who have refused to move on. They are so drenched in the past that they refuse to see what is around them, and they refuse to see what is in the future. People like these, or like you, they constantly focus on what happened and what could have happened. They don't try to implement any other choice in their current situation to bring the transformation they need. Instead, they just dwell on, oh, this could have gone that way, that could have gone that way. And such people, they're quite unforgiving, because I'm telling you, there are people who they hold on to things that happened forever ago. I'm saying years and years ago, and they would just not let it go. They would not forgive, and they refuse to forget. So people like that, it is very hard for them to let things go, even if you did something to them, because they're very grudgeful. So you have to be leery of people, or yourself, if you are like this, who just focus on the past. You have to realize, listen, for every single day that you wake up, it is an opportunity to change the things that you don't like, or the things that made your past ugly. You have the power through Christ to transform your present, which would eventually affect your future. So staying in the past, moping about the past, it would only hurt you, because that is something you cannot control. So until you come to terms with, well, it's probably time that I let go of the past, because it's already been done, it's out of my hands, I cannot control it anymore, then you'll be able to live in the present, and of course you look forward to the future. So you want to be careful if you're like that, if you're always thinking about the past, oh, the school you should have gone to, what you should have done at a certain age, and you haven't done it. It's okay, just start over. It's okay to start over. to just start over instead of just dwelling on the past and staying there and not wanting to move forward at all. Forgive those people from your past who have not even asked you for forgiveness. Just let your past go and stop causing it to interfere with your present so much. Because your present would eventually become your past. So when you look back, what would you see? Would you like what you see? So just be leery and mindful if you're somebody who just constantly dwells on the past and causes, unhappiness for yourself and for others. So another thing you should be mindful of are people who focus on the present. Now, of course, we all know that we are supposed to focus on the present, but where this talk actually starts to make sense is that you have to find a balance. That is the whole point of this talk. It's not to say don't think about your past, don't think about your future, don't think about your present. It is to say to find a balance. There are people who live in the present so much that they forget that they have a future. That hippie mentality or that mindset of I'm going to live every day like it's my last. And it causes them not to be prudent. It causes them not to be considerate of the future. So they're the types, or you could be the type who just wants to live in the present so much, enjoy your life so much, that you forget to plant seeds for the future. You forget that, things could happen where you would actually need your money, but instead of saving your money now, you're out here splurging in the name of you only live once. So if you are like that, if you're so focused on the present that it blinds you from making concrete life choices, you are so focused on the present that it prevents you from making plans for the future, from thinking and considering the future, then you have to be quite leery of yourself. You have to be quite leery of friends or family members who are like that. It is not a problem to live in the present. Of course, enjoy the resources that you have, enjoy the things and people that are around you, learn certain lessons. However, always keep at the back of your mind that there is a future and that whatever you invest your time in today would eventually have something to show for or something to not show for in the future. So I guess the question would be, what are you doing now? What mentality do you have? Are you thinking of the future? I know a lot of you might not want to be married, which is fine, but what about your financial plan? What about your goal? What or where would you like to see yourself in the next 10 years, 20 years, 2 years, a year, in fact, maybe 6 months? So you want to be careful not to blow up your resources, not to burn bridges, because there is a tomorrow after all. So yeah, so being in the present and living in the present is great, but you have to also remember that there are certain relationships that are meant to take us to a certain destination as we are on our way to achieving certain things in the future. So that means we should not be unwise to the point where we just cut people off randomly without even considering how far they could help us. It is not wise to just cut family members off. I mean, there are people who just cut off their moms, their dads, like siblings in the name of, well, I don't need you now. And it's like, okay, in the future, you could need blood transfusion and you could be married and the blood bank will be closed. Who are you going to turn to? So a lot of things we have to be considerate. Growing up African, if there's one thing that I have learned is that this world is a very small world. That is why we're taught and raised not to look down on anybody, because whoever you might look down on today could be your boss tomorrow. What are you going to do? So you cannot just treat people how you like and not expect repercussions in the future. So be careful of how you treat people. They could be classmates, they could be your subordinates. Just be careful, because there is a tomorrow and you just never know where they might be tomorrow or who they might be tomorrow. So don't miss out on your blessings. But yeah, the last part. So you should be leery of this. It's kind of a, it's a trap. It looks good on the outside, but then once you get caught up, that's it. There are people who, which might be you, are extremely focused on the future. Like I said, not that it's a bad thing, but when there's lack of balance, there's trouble. So People who focus on the future a little too much. It is great to focus on your future. It is great to, you know, build out and plan out your life today, just so you will be able to achieve the future that you want. However, there are people who have concrete mindsets. There are people who do not realize there are certain things you cannot control in life. So they sit here and they plan 5 years from now, a year from now, this is everything that's going to happen, and it has to happen this particular way before I can achieve my goal. So what happens when things do not go in order? Then they lose track, and then they lose it all. You have to be careful. As much as we have to live today planning for tomorrow, we cannot completely forget about the present and live in the future. That means we cannot just see people and see a future in them without even being sure. And this is something that I've done before. Y'all, I have a cold and the air is so dry. Cough drop. Oh, can you guys forgive me? I need to suck on this cough drop. I have a bunch of schoolwork to do, so this video has to be done right now. You know, a lot of us, when we look at certain people, be it friends or well, we can't really change family, be it friends or people we would like to see in our future, what we do is we embrace such people into our lives, into our personal space, thinking, oh, in the future they could, well, they could contribute this and that in the future. Like, I see potential. Futuristic people, they always see potential in others, which, you know, has a good and bad side to it. Because at the end of the day, when people start showing you who they are and you don't like what you see, don't keep seeing potential. Drag them into your future and eventually cause them to pull you down. So, futuristic people, you have to watch yourself. Cut off people who you need to. Know that life is not perfect and that things will not always go your way and that you are not in control. So as much as you live today planning for tomorrow, you have to remember to live today as well and to enjoy the process of every journey and everything you lay hands on as you get to your future. Don't just skip today and go into the future. Don't just see somebody you like today and all of a sudden you're thinking about marriage. Don't see someone today who you've not fully known and start calling them your best friend and think, oh, they're going to be my maid of honor or my best man at my wedding, and you don't even know this people's character. So it's just a lot of things that goes into the future, which is great of you to consider the future, but at the end of the day, it can cause a lot of people to rush into a relationship, into certain things, just because it looks like what they need for the future. And sometimes it turns out to actually destroy the future that they're, you know, really passionate about. So, all in all, as much as you want to be passionate about the past, about the present, and the future, always remember that you have to find a balance. Also, remember that the past is out of your control. So, no matter what happened back then, even if people judge you for it, even if people hold it against you, you're not in control. You'll survive. It's okay. Also with the future, also with the present, it is great to live in the present, but also remember that there's a tomorrow that's your today would actually impact. So always be considerate of the future. And also, being futuristic, always remember to live in the present. Always remember to stay present so that you're able to take notes of people, things, and situations that would not work out so well in the future. Okay? Because you imagine it, everything is perfect, but reality is telling you that they're not going to work out. So you have to be present enough to learn those lessons. But guys, I struggled through this video, I'm not going to lie. But I just want to thank you all for coming onto my channel. What kind of person do you think you are? Please leave it in the comment section below. Let's talk about it, and yeah, I'll see you in my next one. Bye. Say hello.
Hello.
My name is
My name
Adeline.
Island.
Be sure
Sure.
to subscribe,
Right.
like,
Like.
share,
Share.
comment
Comments.
on my mom's
And Mama.
video.
Videos.
Subscribe.
Bye.
God bless you
Love you.
and your family.
Lonnie.
Love you.
Love you.
Mwah. Good girl. Thank you.
Thank you. Look, Candy.